And let us experiment now. Let us experiment with this beholder. Let's try and slap some of this stuff on here. I'm guessing this is gonna smell like the devil. It's gonna smell pretty bad. That's my guess. But let's try. Let's try and see how it'll turn out. Let's dust it off first. Always gotta make sure there's no dust on this, because you don't want to trap any dust underneath. I'll do the main eye because I feel like I'm mostly done with the eye. Actually, there's something else I'd like to do with the eye. There's a little detail, because I'm mostly done this model, but there's little detail. There's other little things I'd like to do with it, but you know, I just kind of got to the point where I would rather just work on something else. Okay, let me just quickly do a little bit of the detail underneath the eye. Do you guys hear the music much at all? I'm just curious. Maybe even the teeth. I'll do the bit of the teeth actually as well. I can get some gloss on the teeth to make it look like it's shiny. Oh, you can hear it? Okay, cool. Thank you. So we're just gonna put a little bit of white. Underneath, like the membrane that kind of like goes between the eye and like the eyelid, something like that. I've already painted the sort of white highlight to be the reflective part. And I mean, ideally I would like to do a little more for the eye, but meh, that's fine. You could spend a lot of time working on the eye, making it look good. Let's put a little black dot in the center, at the very least. Black dot, black dot. How are we doing for time? Okay, so just about 2 hours actually. I'm not really sure how long I'll go on for today, because like I said, there's other things I'd like to do today. It could be a short stream, but who knows. I mean, I mostly wanted to show off the stuff that I bought, and possibly start weathering. Maybe we can do a bit of that, as that was the plan. And just doing some quick little adjustments to this model before we slap on some of that gloss. Hopefully it turns out okay. Alright, there you go. And now, let's shake this. I'm assuming I need to shake this shit because it's pretty old. Let's shake it. Shake it, shake it. Let's see, just checking my water here. Okay, I've got some water that we can use. Oh, by the way, I have this here. This is I'll talk about this while I shake. This here is a watercolor pencil. And that's another tool that people use for weathering watercolor pencils. And again, this is something that I've had for quite a long time. I have a whole set of them. And yeah, I'm thinking about maybe messing around with it for this model. Possibly. Just let this dry also. We also need to let the new stuff that I did to this model dry. Shake it up. Shake it up. So yeah, you can write that down there, Bacon. Clear X-22. It's kind of shiny. I don't even remember why I bought this or when I bought this, but it was a good long time ago. It could be like too old at this point. I have no idea. Maybe we'll put some on the smaller eye first. One of these smaller eyes just to see before I put it on a big eye. Let's dust this mouth too. Alright. Okay. I'm guessing this is gonna smell pretty bad. Let's clean off this brush because you don't want your paint to this stuff to kind of get tainted with another color. Okay, is that enough shaking? Night Trap, Returnal won BAFTA Game of the Year. Was that British American Film Television Association? Something like that? Oh, is this hard to open? Holy crap. Oh, it's hard to open. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. I haven't opened this in such a long time. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some hot water technique or something, guys. So let's take a little break, and I'll get right back with this. Write down in the comments your strategy for opening up jars that are stuck. Elastic band. Do I have one here? Here, let me try. I was gonna use hot water, but let's try elastic band. Oh, it's so hard to... Whew. I can feel... Oh boy. Okay, guys. Rubber band not working. Give it to me. Okay. Break time. BRB. Bacon, time for a TDK quote. Give it to me and I will do what you should have done 10 minutes ago. Who says that? Is that a Bane quote? Oh no, The Dark Knight. Who said that? It wouldn't be Bane. You know, did you rewatch it lately? Because you know quite a lot of the lines. Yeah, Night Trap, he did it. Let's open this up carefully. Crust it over. So we gotta be careful not to let this stuff. We'll clean up the jar. How does this shit smell? Hold on a second. Oh, it doesn't smell that bad. Oh wow, that takes me back. You know what's weird? Like, you know how people have like memories of smells? Smelling this instantly reminded me of using Tamiya paint, because I do have some Tamiya paint. I don't have a lot of it, but just now that totally reminded me of of Tamiya. Yeah, it has such a distinct smell from other paints. Oh, that's so weird. The criminal on the boat who took the detonator from the cop. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was watching that movie in parts, but I didn't get to that part. All right, let's put some of this on my wet palette. I have to say I'm a little nervous about using this because I'm seeing some bubbles and particles. So that's why I want to put it onto one of the smaller eyes and just see. But let's see. Let us see. Let's see. Let's put it on one of these smaller eyes. Okay, it looks fine. And it definitely looks wet. Looks wet and juicy. Okay. Yeah, I think it looks good. And when it dries, it'll still have this wet look to it. So yeah, pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can tell. We'll apply it to the bigger eye now because I'm more confident that the result will be good, I think. We'll have to revisit this like tomorrow or another day, or I can put some pictures later after it dries to kind of examine the end result, but I think it looks pretty good. Now let's put it on the big boy, on the big eye here, and see how this looks. Make sure it's clean. Ooh, it's wet now. Looks like a wet eyeball. And I think if I apply multiple layers, it'll look even more wet. Ooh, I think it looks pretty nice actually. Let me just get some more of this stuff. Wow. Pretty cool actually. Bacon, you can't tell, yeah. Like you can kind of see as I move it around that the light is kind of reflecting. Like in person, I didn't water it down. No, it's not watered it down. But like I said, I can take some pictures, post it on Twitter or Instagram for you, or I can just send it to you directly. You can kind of see that it's reflecting light more. But in person, it looks really, really good. And I'm not I'm not bullshitting you or anything. Like I'll tell you if it looks like shit. It doesn't look bad. In fact, it looks pretty cool. So let's do a little more and try and get some on the tongue and the teeth. Yeah, you can see it reflect more light, but in person it looks very wet and glossy. Pretty cool. We can put some on the teeth. That's another thing that's wet, right? On the teeth and the tongue. Let me just blow out the dust if there's any. Don't want to get any dust trapped on there. It's not watered down, but I am putting this onto my wet palette, which keeps the paint wet for longer. The paint won't dry out as quickly, so I don't know if that's having an effect. It probably wouldn't really. But again, I'm going to be putting a few more layers on this, and it'll become more pronounced as you put more layers. And if you paint your model, I mean, and this is speaking as someone who, from the perspective of painting the model, if you have this step in mind as you're painting, you're gonna get you can get some really good results. It's a little hard to gauge how much is on my brush just because it's clear colored. It's crazy how the smell just kind of took me back to that. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't have too many Tamiya paint, but I do have a few. It's a tongue. It's a wet tongue. And I think that the little membrane below the eye, we can kind of add some gloss to. Going nuts with this gloss now, because I like the result. By the way, I would probably use some brush that you're not... Like, I would not use your best brushes to do this, because I don't know what's going to be the end result. Like, I don't know how this would impact your brush. Like, of course you should clean your brush, but it could be kind of damaging to your brushes. So just use a shittier brush, I guess. Bacon now clears how well this would work with waifus. Yeah, I wonder too, because obviously this is a monster, so you're not kind of judging it as being beautiful. So I wouldn't know how it would look in that sense. And it's such a big eye, right? I think it might look good. But yeah, like you were gonna try it out on like an extra eye, right? On an extra eye. Yeah, you can kind of see how it's reflecting light as I move it around, right? But we'll let this dry, give it some time, and we'll see how the end result looks. And I'll probably add a few more layers, actually. You know, that reminds me, by the way. So this is a 3D printed Beholder model. So in that regards, it's not the official Beholder model sanctioned by Wizards of the Coast / D&D, right? But at Hot for Toys, they had the official Beholder miniature from WizKids, right? And personally, I think that model looks okay, but I kind of like this one more just because he has a more spherical, rounded look to him, right? Whereas the official Beholder model was oblong shaped. He was kind of like, yeah, not a sphere, perfect sphere, but like, yeah, more egg-shaped even. It didn't look as pleasing in my opinion. I was tempted to buy one. I've been actually looking for one for a good long while, but when it came to time, when I saw one in person, I was like, I don't know. I kind of like this one more. But the reason I wanted to mention it now was because they actually do that whole doll eye thing. It comes with the parts to create the doll eye effect. And as I said when we were watching an example of that on your stream, Bacon, I'm not too crazy about that effect. And even for the Beholder, I didn't like how it looked. So there's this, so the sculpted eye actually is concave. The sculpture of the eye and the details, instead of being convex, is that the right way of saying it? Instead of like this, it's actually more bowl-shaped. All the details are bowl-shaped, right? And then it comes with a plastic lens, like a clear plastic lens that you put on top, and that creates that, like, as we had seen previously, that kind of shiny look, and creates a sense of depth within the eye. But in general, I just didn't really like that. It just didn't look realistic to me. Like, I understood what they were trying to do, but yeah, it just didn't look that great. So for all of those reasons, I kind of stayed away from the from that Beholder model. Bacon, I'll use my extra eyes water slide as a test. Yeah, if you have like a piece of extra plastic, you could attach the water slide onto I guess you would put a water slide onto a spoon. Please document this. Do it on stream. That would be very amusing. Make a spoon chan. Put some put some nice waifu eyes on the spoon, and then put some gloss and put some red powder, red makeup powder on her cheeks, and then get some get something to be hair. I don't know. Night Trap. This is the paint we use for gems. Yeah. Although when you were painting the lens for your Gundam, or rather your Zaku Night Trap, you used that car thing, right? How did I took a look, but I forgot to really take a close look at it. Did it look okay? Bacon. Oh God. Yeah. Spoon-chan. Spoon-chan. I'm not really sure how dry this is because it's glossy looking, right? So, and I don't want to touch it because that might leave a fingerprint. So let's just leave this alone for a few hours or something, and then I'll put another layer. I'll put a few more layers. Maybe I'll even finish up working on these eyes because they're not actually done. And we'll take a look. We'll take a look how the end result is. I'll put some pictures online and you can see, but to look at it in person is pretty neat. It's funny, I had never even thought about that, to do that, but it looks pretty cool. Beholder senpai staring at me. Okay, so what's next, guys? What's next on the schedule? Well, we've got some time. We can do some more stuff. So let's do some cleaning up. Oh, okay, we can let me quickly try this new paint. The metallics. Let's try and see if it makes a difference. We won't do the whole thing because that's gonna take too long. Just cleaning this brush because now it has that gloss stuff on. I call it gloss varnish. I'm actually not sure what they call it. It just says Clear X-22. Is there any other terminology that they use for this? Like, can you see what any of this says? Sorry, it's probably a little too blurry. Night Trap. I took it off. My mistake was to apply it with the sponge applicator. I should have used a brush. So when you say you took it all off, you took off all the paint and then you just did it again? Did you do it again? Or it's just normal now? Like it's just the pink? Because you assembled it all together, so I don't know if you can kind of get back to that state. I'm shaking this now, so pardon me, guys. We're shaking up some shining silver. Shake, 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 shake. Okay. Is that enough? So when you applied it with the sponge applicator, was it all just because it looked too messy? Was that why? You're just going to use the Tamiya? Holy shit, it kind of just splooged all over the place. That's a lot of silver paint. I don't need this much. Because I shook it, and I probably should have let it rest a bit. This actually really does remind me of the old Citadel Shining Silver. Cool. I'm having such a retro nostalgia day today between smelling that Tamiya paint and then this looks exactly like the old Shining Silver. Where did the cap go? Oh, also I found my small brush. Yay. That's good. Night Trap, you took off all the paint and you used the Tamiya. Yeah, man, we've had this for such a long time. It's pretty crazy. I feel like we don't need to buy a new one because the results look fine, but it is slightly tinted yellow. It's not really noticeable when you put the stuff on the model, and if you're depending on the color, it's not really going to be all that noticeable. Yeah, but even for the Beholder, his eye, it doesn't really have a yellow tint, and I think that's just due to age. The age, or maybe at some point in time, I dipped my brush into there and it had like a bit of yellow particles. I don't know, or it's just age. but it looks fine. Oh yeah, so yeah, it's definitely brighter, guys. It looks really good. I'm putting on this stuff right now. And it's looking pretty nice, and it's going on really smoothly too. Let's just do a little bit. I don't want to do the whole thing because that's going to take a while. I might do this later today while I'm watching some other streams or whatever. Yeah, Bacon said he was going to stream. Pretty nice. Yeah, this is the first time I'm using this color. Just bought it, and I think it's pretty good. I think you always want to have two kinds of metallic colors, like as far as like your basic silvery kind of metallic. You want a dark metallic color, and then you want a bright one like this. And that'll give you some flexibility in terms of like if you want to do shining armor for like a heroic figure, you can do that, and then you can get like dark and dingy armor for like you know, like a bad guy or an orc or something. You can get that, and then you can use some washes to get some more variation. But yeah, a lot of our older paints we've used them all up since coming back to this hobby. So we kind of had to build up our paint collection again. That's actually something I might want to do and talk about at some point, is just look at all the paints that we have. It might be kind of fun. But yeah, Citadel used to make some really great silver or metallic colors, and I don't really know the state of their stuff right now, but I do know that they've discontinued or have changed the formula of some of their older paints, and so there are people out there that hunt down and try and find the older range of paint, kind of like how, remember there was a time when the Kobe shoes were gonna be like discontinued, and then like DeRozan said like he has enough Kobe shoes to last the rest of his career. It's kind of like that. There's people out there that want to have enough Goblin Green or Shining Gold, for example, to last the rest of their painting careers. Uh-oh, Bacon. Oh no, I just realized the other hobby store close to me has some of the girl ply I want to pre-order. Uh-oh, is that something you can state publicly now? Can you state what you want, or is that you don't want other people sniping you? or is it too spicy? It's too spicy to admit what model you're looking for? What is it? I want to know. Yeah, I kind of came to the conclusion that when it comes to model kits, that's the one category where I'm like, you know what? It's worth spending money on buying a crazy fancy girl plum model. It's like I have second doubts. I have second thoughts when it comes to like a Gundam model. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I want this. But I don't know, maybe because I already took the plunge and bought like a fairly, it's not that expensive comparatively speaking, but it was, in my estimation, pretty pricey, that model kit. And I'm like, okay, well, now I feel like I could probably spend the same or more again. I don't know. That sounds crazy. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to do everything. Oh, The Exorcist? Yeah, that one is very cool, actually. I've seen that one. I've not in person, but yeah, I've seen that one. It's really neat. That one has a really cool faceplate where it's like what's the term? It's like a smirk. She's got like a smirk foo thing going on. Really a really arrogant, smirky face, and I'm like, that is an awesome expression. Really cool. Yeah, that one's really neat. I feel like the next time I get a, a girl plow model, I might consider customizing it in some way, but I don't really know how or what I would do. But that's just, I don't know, within the next 1 or 2 models, if I ever, whichever, at whatever point I get one, maybe I will customize in some way. Not really sure how. Because yeah, I've been watching a lot of videos where people do custom color schemes. I'm not talking about like chopping up parts and using different parts and stuff like that. I'm mostly just thinking along the lines of like color scheme, and it's really neat the stuff that people do. All right, so yeah, it definitely looks shinier. It might, again, this this is one of those things where it might not be all that noticeable on stream, but it definitely looks shinier to the eye, which is the whole point, which is the whole reasoning why I got this. So I'm pretty, this color. Hey, it's Goro. How's it going, Goro? Looking good. Looking good for a vending machine. That's a mighty fine rectangular cube you got there, son. Yeah. All right. Cool. So we'll finish up this, we'll finish this up another time, or on my own. And then there's a number of other tweaks and adjustments that I'm considering doing to this model, because after all, it's fairly simple. And I did my research as far as what these things look in real life, and I talked about that previously. It's going to be up on YouTube actually, but I don't think it's up just yet. Some of my future plans for this model, but let's just set it aside for now.